Hey everyone, my name is Brian D. Evans, Inc. 500 entrepreneur, founder of Influencive, and I've got a very special guest with me today. The man who's built a massive real estate empire, can catch like a pro, hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate holdings, best-selling author, sales and sales training, rock star, mega social media influencer, and has a new book out, Be Obsessed or Be Average. Grant Cardone, welcome.
Hey, Brian, thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, I love that. I love Be Obsessed. I just realized this, that when I built, where is it? My advertising company, that I was obsessed with building my company. I was the 25th fastest growing advertising agency in America, and I had to
Wow.
be obsessed. I realized that. I'm like, that's the right word, obsessed. And I'm just curious,
Totally.
what do you have? What inspired you? What were you obsessed with that inspires
Well,
this book?
look, one thing is, I tell people, I say, man, why don't people read more books? And I think it's because so many people have bought books and not finished them, and or for $25 or $17 or whatever you're paying for the book. I think like people have had such a negative experience with learning
Yeah,
and schools and 17 years and 12 years and 10 grades and all
yeah,
these classes that were so laborious. And there was a book that I bought once called Building a Real Estate Empire. I never read the book, but I have the book and I still have the book
yeah.
because the title made me think one day I'm going to build a real estate empire. I never cracked the book open, never read it. And so when I labeled this book, I said, what do I want this book to be about? What if somebody never reads it, man?
Yeah.
And I looked at my life and said, what's that one thing that made me successful? And it's just what you said about your advertising company. When you drop in on something to make it successful, there is no balance in that moment. It is
Yeah.
constant, like obsession with, consumption with. Literally, the idea should consume you, keep you up at night. You're eating dinner with your family. You're having sex with your wife, and you're thinking about that. Damn, man, I think I can make this work.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So, and anybody that thinks that's not the real deal, you need to understand. You compartmentalizing and being at the movie with your wife or your husband and not thinking about your business.
Yep.
Nobody does that.
Right.
Nobody does that. It's never ever happened. It's not going to work. So for me, obsession is to be obsessed is a good thing, not a bad thing.
Absolutely. I think too that people they disperse themselves in all these directions instead of focusing in on one thing. Do you think it's possible to focus on multiple businesses? Can be obsessed about all of them, or do you have to kind of
I hope
focus?
so. I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope so for Elon Musk is
Yeah,
he's trying to go to Mars while he electrifies a car.
yeah, that's true.
While so I hope you can.
Yeah,
And there's proof that you can.
sure.
Google Google hopes that they can run a business and do other things,
Right.
automate cars. So
Yeah,
I'm running 5 companies here. I'm running 5 companies. I have a marriage that's working 95% of the time. I got 2 kids. I'm teaching how to ride bikes right now. I found time to do that yesterday.
that's
I took
great.
time to go shoot guns yesterday and practice with my wife and employees. Found time to go to lunch yesterday and watch some football and watch a debate and had the biggest weekend that we've ever had at our website while launching a book.
That's incredible.
I think, and I talk about this in the book, I think the problem people are having is they don't have enough positive things to be obsessed with.
Mm,
And they've
yeah,
been told, Brian, they've been told that they can't do all these things. So you start thinking, well, I can only do one thing. No, it's not true. That's why people burn out. People are
yeah,
burnt out because their life is not interesting enough to keep them excited enough with problems big enough that challenge them enough so that they're alive and vibrant and excited like a child.
that's really powerful. That's very powerful. Switching gears real quick. So you've built this huge real estate empire. I don't know, 400, $500 million in holdings at this point. I'm not sure what it is. It
Yeah,
sounds,
that's right. That's
wow,
right. That's right.
that's incredible. That's obviously not an easy task. What would you attribute your success to in that industry? Is it selling?
Oh, definitely. I mean, definitely the sales game is definitely very important there. Now, for everybody to understand, I'm not selling homes or flipping homes here.
Right.
I'm buying apartment buildings. We buy an apartment deal. So you'd be like, well, if you're buying apartments and managing apartments and adding value to the apartments, raising the rents there, how's this a selling game? Okay. Look, everything is a sales game.
Yeah.
To me, everything, this presentation right now to you, our conversation we're having,
Yeah.
I'm trying to convince an audience to do something.
Correct.
Everything I do, every conversation I have, every meeting I have, I am trying to sell somebody on some idea. So when I'm trying to buy apartments, I mean, the hardest thing with apartments today is very, very competitive. It's a very, very expensive game. Everybody that I'm competing with has money. 38 people are trying to buy one deal. How do I get it? How do I get to be the guy that gets the deal? All 38 guys got money. All 38 have experience. All 38 can get a loan. So how do I stand out and acquire this deal without overpaying for that deal? Because overpaying is not a solution. If you're going to overpay for something, you can't make money on it. Yeah. So to me, it's all connected, Brian. Like, do people know me? Are they aware of me? This is where the social media piece comes in.
Yeah.
You know, when they Google my name, what are they going to see? They're going to see three things or 300 pages.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, I've lost real estate deals because they Google me and they're like, dude, what do you do, man? You write books, you speak in audiences, you're going to to Colombia to speak to the generals there. The next day you're at the Pentagon. How do you do real estate? I've had banks not lend me money because they thought I was too diversified or too dispersed is what they called.
That's funny. How did you get good at selling initially? Is there a couple things people do wrong when they're selling?
Well, I hated sales. I got in sales, Brian, when I was 16 years old, so I could, basically have some money in the summertime. And I hated sales from the time I was 16 to 25. And the problem is, by the time I got out of college with a degree, and I owed $40,000 for 5 years of college, where I learned basically almost nothing.
Me too.
Yeah, I mean, look, college is that whole thing is one of the prison products.
Oh yeah.
On this planet.
Absolutely.
And so I get out of college. I don't know how to get a job. Don't know how to do an interview. Don't know what I want to do. Don't want to be an accountant. I don't want to do the thing I studied for.
Yeah.
And I went to the unemployment line. 25 years old, educated. 1 out of 4 people where I live couldn't get a job because we were a refinery town in Louisiana. I never thought about leaving town. I mean, that would have been an option. Hey, go somewhere, but I don't have any money. So my uncle said, hey, get in sales. A sales company will hire you anytime. No matter how bad the economy is, they'll hire you. And I'm like, I hate sales. He's like, you hate sales because you don't know how to sell. If you learn how to do it, if you master it. And then I remember my dad, before my dad died, my dad told my mom, tell those boys, he knew he was going to die. Tell those boys if they learn to sell, they can go anywhere. And I hadn't even considered that for like 15 years. And so I got a sales job and made a commitment to getting great at it. And I did, man. I mean, I didn't like it. I hated it. But when I committed to getting great at it, when I became obsessed with it.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing for everybody. Dude, get obsessed with something. If it's dancing, riding a bike, motorcycles, okay, skateboarding. When you become obsessed with it and then connect it to something that could be lucrative, because you need money, okay? If you're going to be a skateboarder, there's no reason that you can't be the greatest skateboarder and make a bunch of money. But you got to tie it into promotion, marketing, sales, the desire for money. You got to want to build something out. Otherwise, you're just going to be a skateboarder or a surfer or a dancer or an athlete that, unless you're Tom Brady, you're probably not gonna. You're going to make money for 3 or 4 years and then make nothing the rest of your life.
Yeah, that's cool. So, I mean, what at this point you've been massively successful. What fires you up? Is it the entrepreneurial hustle of just you want to start new businesses and do cool things, or what is it at this point?
Yeah, no, look, it's not about the hustle for me, man. It's, I think the hustle thing could be getting overplayed here. Like everybody's like hustle, grind.
Yeah.
I don't want to just hustle, grind.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in being tired and exhausted and angry all the time. I want to make a difference. I'm looking at, we had this freaking enormous weekend at my website this weekend. And while my guys in there are looking at the money that we made, I'm looking at 3 sales that we made in Bulgaria.
Wow.
Okay, I'm looking at 5 sales we made in Mexico. I'm looking at 2 sales we made in Germany. By the way, these 2 sales in Germany are worth $3 to me.
Mm.
They don't have any. They don't know why. Why am I interested in these 2 German sales at $1.49 each?
Yeah.
Because I'm lit up. I'm thinking, oh my God, man. My goal is to have everybody on this planet know who I am.
Wow.
And the reason I want everybody to know me is I want to re-educate people on what they can do today to break out of wherever they are. You know, I'm a breakout guy. I'm a guy that had nothing at 25. I broke out from nothing, dude. I grew up middle class. I went straight downhill. You don't hear this story a lot. You hear a lot of people start at the bottom. Dude, I started in the middle, went down, crashed, found another bottom, crashed, found another bottom. I mean, I just kept going through basements.
Yeah.
To by the time I was 25, I hated myself. And then I've been crawling out of that for the last 30 years. And then I get to levels and I'm like, I find like where I'm at today, I'm not satisfied with it because I know there's more potential for me.
Yeah.
And it's not about the money. It's about, hey, can I make friends in Germany?
Right. Right.
You know, can I actually reach Taipei, Taiwan? Can I go to Australia and actually have friends all over the world and like-minded people, man? I mean, there's nothing on this planet more valuable than like-minded people.
Yeah.
Look, I have more money than I can possibly spend in my lifetime. It's impossible for me to spend the money I have. But if you ever end up with a lot of money, the one thing that rich people don't ever tell anybody is they're lonely, man. Okay? They're lonely. They want other people. They typically have a bunch of people around them, but they always have to pick up the bill. You know, I was at lunch yesterday or 2 nights ago, and it was a birthday party, and my wife's, it was a guy that was working for me. They invited us.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know, 15 or 20 people there.
Yeah.
And the bill came, and my wife's like, pick it up. I'm like, no, I'm not going to pick it up.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to pick it up. So the guy that I said, let everybody pay. We'll all throw a card in. I wasn't being cheap, dude. I think other people want the opportunity to pay too.
Absolutely.
They don't want the guy with the money to pay every time. It literally disempowers people, right?
Yeah.
So I know because I've been with a guy richer than me.
Yeah.
The billionaire that like, I'll get it. I said, no, dude, let me get it. Okay. Let me buy you dinner.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I don't know if that makes sense or if I connected the dots on that idea, but I want friends, dude, and I want friends around me that are doing well. I don't want to be the rock star that has a bunch of broken, degraded people just sucking life out of him and being part of the entourage just because they're in the flow. I want people around me to also be the rock stars.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. So people, you touched on something interesting there. When you got to those low levels, how did you start heading back up? How did you get yourself out of that funk?
Well, every day for 9 years, I said, okay, I'm going to change today.
Yeah.
You know, and I did. I got worse.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, today I'm going to change. Today's the day.
Yeah.
And then I got worse, you know?
Yeah.
So like I just kept committing for 9 years, 365. I'm smoking weed every day, dude. I'm popping pills. People are like, what's your drug of choice? You know, I'm like, whatever drug there was around.
Yeah.
It could have been Advil or it could have been amphetamines or it could have been, I mean, I became a drug addict. I was smoking weed every day and whatever, dude, whatever. I thought I was snorting cocaine, but most of the time it was who knows what was in it. Rat poison. That's what people don't understand. You guys don't even know what you're putting in your bodies, man. And so 9 years of dumping stuff in your body, you know, and then you think you're going to quit one day and it's out of you. No, it's not going to be out of you, man. It's still there. It's sitting. It's stored up in your freaking fat cells. It's influencing your thinking. It causes you depression, anxieties. It goes on for long periods of time, long after you're off the drug. I'm talking from personal experience.
Yeah.
So one day I woke up and said, today's the day. Okay. That same night, my mom said, don't ever come here again until you get your life handled. My family basically said they cut ties with me. And 28 days or 30 days later, I was in a treatment center for drug addiction. I went there. I was there 28 days. I cleaned up. When I walked out, the guy said, hey, look, give up all your ideas about ambition and getting rich and getting famous and helping the world. If you just don't use drugs, that'll be success. And I walked out and said, that's some bullshit right there, dude. Okay. Because I didn't just want to be a clean guy that wasn't successful. You know, the drugs were a symptom of another problem. And I talk about this in Be Obsessed or Be Average. My problem was not drugs, dude. My problem was that I denied my obsessions. Okay. The problem was not that I was an addict, that I have an addictive personality. Everybody has an addictive personality. Every human being on this planet. I have never met somebody that doesn't have an addictive personality. Okay. You watch a baby at 6 months old, 8 months old, they're freaking addicted to their body. Sucking fingers, dude, like play. They're freaking enamored with themselves, with discovery. They're addicted to everything. They'll put everything in their mouth. So see, the psychiatrist or the psychologist gets a hold of that person 15 or 20 years later and says, oh yeah, you got a problem. Okay. But when they were babies, it was cute. And what I'm saying in this book is, look, you got to find your freaking obsessive personality again.
Yeah.
You need to find, it's not all negative. Right. It is what makes all great people great. So whether it's Steve Jobs, who is clearly obsessed, or Bill Gates, or Oprah, or Mother Teresa, or Jesus Christ, or Alexander the Great, man, or Abraham Lincoln, these people, Benjamin Franklin, okay? These people, Einstein, these people were obsessed with something or many things, by the way. Mm-hmm. If you look at Franklin, man, he was obsessed with a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I want to give people permission to tap into this freaking side of you that society judges so harshly with labels that are never validated by any science. You know, I've been called ADD, ADHD, OCD, control freak. I've been called greedy, selfish, self-centered, arrogant, braggart. And the better I do, man, the more successful I get, the more that I hear.
Of course, people love
and so that's where my addiction started, dude. My addiction started at probably 10 years old. I mean, my problem started, not my addiction. My problem started at 10 or 11 years old when people were telling me, close to me, people that love me, we love you just the way you are, Grant. And that always came after some expression of, I want to be James Bond. I want to be the hero. I want to be rich. I want to be in power. You know, I want to have control. And then my family would be like, settle down, little man. Everything's going to be all right. Just be grateful for what you have. You have family, and that's all that matters. Well, you know what? That has never been all that matters to me. I have want, and when I deny, dude, that I want these other things, like the fact that you're a top Inc. 500 influencer, okay, that your advertising company was 25 in the world, dude, that inspires me.
Yeah.
And because I know what it takes to get that kind of recognition.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's so cool. So as a kid, you were like, I want to be a superhero. Like you were fired up from an early age.
Dude, I'm 10 years old. First time I put a baseball glove on and felt the baseball in my hand. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be a professional baseball player. I wanted to be Johnny Bench.
Yeah.
Right. Some of you probably don't even know who Johnny Bench is, but he does that Emer commercial now. But I saw James Bond. I'm like, that's who I want to be, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna be 007. Who wouldn't want to be him, dude?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Totally.
Like I'm like, look, he's got the freaking great car. He's got the freaking guns. He kills the bad guy. He gets the hot chick. He walks in a casino and freaking loses a bunch of money and it doesn't seem to matter. That's the guy I want to be, man. And what society tells you is that's a fantasy. Hey, guess what? It ain't a fantasy.
Yeah.
You can be that guy or gal.
Totally.
Okay. And everybody should have enough money to walk in a casino and lose it and walk away and it not bother them.
Yep.
Or go on a vacation. See, most people on this planet, they go on a vacation. They can't wait to go on a vacation. They worry about the cost of it before they plan it. They worry about it while they're spending the money. And when they come home, they regret what they did.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not the vacation I want to go on.
No.
You know, I don't want to pick a hotel because the breakfast is free.
Yeah.
And so I know today, and that's why I get so passionate, is nobody needs to go on that trip, man.
No.
You can go on the trip where you're like, I'm going to throw some money away on this trip. There's so much money on this planet. It is unbelievable.
Yep.
But just that category, just talking about money, you know, just saying, I want to be rich. Just try it today. Go out and tell somebody, I want to get so rich, I can waste money. Yeah. And people will be like, watch how much condemnation you get for it.
Absolutely. I tell people that all the time. I'll do a trip or something and I'll spend a bunch of money. And I say, yeah, it's coming back. Maybe 10 times over.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's I don't know, whatever you want to attribute it to but it happens. It's real. It's, you know, if you're doing it for the right reasons, I feel like it comes back. It really does. The money's coming back.
Dude, if you're thinking small all the time, I know what's coming back. You know?
Yeah.
Look, you know, if I'm worried about, and the only reason people have budgets, and the only reason people, and I know because I was brought up like this, the reason people are so concerned about spending money is they don't know how to make money.
Yeah.
It's the reason why there's so many prisoner products on this planet.
Right.
Credit cards, college debt, homes, 401ks. These are like the four horsemen, you know? Yeah. They're like the four horsemen that strangle Americans and middle-class people around the world, you know? So it's like, hey, man, get a good college degree and you're going to get a good job. No, you're not. Dude, you're not guaranteed that. That's just garbage, okay? So that's how you end up with $1.3 trillion worth of college debt.
Yeah.
You know, hey, buy a house. A house is a good investment. A house is a freaking terrible investment. It forces you to immobilize yourself and pin down to one address and one location. It doesn't create money. It doesn't pay you, okay? You can't sell it if the rest of the neighborhood doesn't sell. Yeah. It's a trap, dude. These are traps. These things are built to immobilize people. Yeah. But they're sold to America and other countries, frankly, thinking that you're going to get some kind of freedom from it or prosperity. And so people get obsessed with the floor mat, dude, the doormat. I'm going to have a beautiful little doormat. It's going to be yeah. We're going to have a fence and a dog and we're going to be happy. You're obsessed with the wrong thing. So I'm just saying, look, man, you need to take those obsessions, re-educate yourself and drop them into something that can create an amazing life for you because it's possible for anyone.
Absolutely. And I think this goes to the point of your book, but in my life, I don't like to use conditional statements such as, if I'm successful, or I'm going to try to do that, because I realize I don't believe in it. So I feel like you have to have conviction in what you're doing. You can't, it's not an ego thing. It's more of like you have to believe in what you're doing. You can't, so when I find myself using those conditional statements, I have to rewire myself and say, no, I'm going to do this.
Yeah. Like I'm obsessed with goals. Okay. Like I write my goals down every morning and every afternoon.
Yeah.
If you're not supporting the things you want with money and time, you have no commitment. I believe all commitments must have time and money to back them up.
Yeah.
So if I'm committed to a great relationship, I need to invest time and money in having a great relationship with my wife. If I want to be a good father, committed to being a great father, obsessed with being a great father, you know, that I want my kids to say, oh my God, he is the example of a father and a man. I have 2 little girls. That's the example. Then I gotta reinforce that with both money and time, not just money. So yesterday I'm playing with my kids on the bike. I'm teaching. I don't need somebody else to teach the kids how to ride a bike. I need to make time to do that thing as well. And if I'm going to do that, by the way, I can't make excuses that I don't have time just because I got these other activities going on.
Absolutely. Now there's going to be a lot of millennials and Gen Z watching and reading this. If you could tell your 20-year-old self, like, you know, do one thing differently, or even just advice for, you know, the 20-year-olds of today, what would that be?
I'd say, dude, drop into the things that you're condemned for, like those dreams that you had when you were even younger than you are. Okay. You already know your purpose. I think I knew my purpose before I was 8 years old.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to write books. I knew I wanted to be famous. I knew I wanted to be rich. First time I walked into a store with my dad and I saw my dad control when we went in and when we left, I wanted money. I'm like, dude, the guy with the money controls the game.
Yeah.
My dad was making a decision how long we could stay, what aisles we could go down, what we could look at, and when we left, what I could have and what I couldn't have. You know why? Because he had the freaking dough.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I couldn't get a new car. He got a new car. He had the money.
Yeah.
Right. And then when he had some extra money and I got a go-kart, I'm like, that's pretty cool. Okay. So I knew early on I wanted money. What I would tell a 20-year-old today is, look, your mom and dad do not know what you know.
Right.
Your mom and dad are now blind to the truth while you can still see it. I think millennials might be the smartest generation that has ever come around, at least in America, because you guys can see, you're seeing cracks, fissures, big giant cracks and fissures and inadequacies in the way your parents thought. The home didn't work out. The 401k was a freaking rip beyond rips. Okay. The college thing is a scam. Most millennials will tell you that have gone to college, dude, that wasn't worth it.
No.
So they're looking, I'd say, hey man, go back to that little young dude, little young chick you were. What were you dreaming about? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to be a dancer. Maybe you're not going to be a ball player, but there's some energy in all that.
Absolutely.
Okay. There's some energy, man. Look, maybe I can't be a professional ball player because I'm not big and fast enough, but the energy of that.
Yes.
See, I wanted to be a catcher, man. Okay. So what does a catcher have to do with a business person? A catcher runs the game. He's the control freak of the diamond. Okay.
Right.
He's the one running the pitcher. He's running everything that goes on. So even though I couldn't be a baseball player, okay, I'm able to still grab that part of me that wants to lead and guide and direct and rah and get people excited. Right. So that's what I would tell people. And by the way, don't use drugs, dude. Stay away from the drug thing. I mean, I know drugs are becoming popular. More and more of these drugs are going to be legalized. Yeah. Prescription drugs are being given out like Skittles.
Yep. Man,
I'm telling you from personal experience, it's not a moral thing. If you're smoking weed, whatever. I have no moral thing on it at all. Mm-hmm. But if you're spending any time cleaning sticky off your fingers, that's time you should be getting your money right.
Totally. Your body, I feel like your body has to be you have to be optimized. You can't perform if you're putting in crap, you're going to get crap out.
Yeah, totally. And you need to be I need to be in the moment and slightly ahead of that moment because that moment spins pretty fast. Yeah. And if you're slowed down or speeded up beyond that, right? You want to be right there. You want to be right there. Like if you've ever been in a presentation and you got really flustered, and then you go back and you're like, damn, I should have said that. And I should have said that. And I should have said that. It's because you weren't in the moment. You weren't able to predict when you're in that perfect spot.
Yep.
Then you're able to predict, oh, he's going to say this now and I can respond like this. Or when you're driving a car, right? You're like, oh, that guy's going to pull over. I can start predicting situations. Yes. So if you want to be super successful, which to me would mean I'd have the money, I'd have the girl, I'd have the kids, I'd have the family, I'd have the trips, I'd have the time, I'd have new ideas. I wouldn't be satisfied with what I did yesterday, but what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
I'd have something to look forward to, like going to Mars, like Musk. That's freaking huge, right?
That's awesome.
And for me to do that, man, I can't be stuck in a bunch of old ideas and old moments, and being hammered by depression, which I have been.
Yeah.
Only to find out later, oh man, it was drugs in my body, dude.
Yeah.
From when I quit when I was 25, at 45, I'm experiencing depression and I hadn't used any drugs. But every day I'm getting a little leak out of drugs that were still in my body from 20 years before. So that's all. I would have a short dissertation to my 20-year-old.
Yeah, for sure. No, but I feel like that's really where the brilliance happens. When you're in that moment, when you're really fired up about something, but you're present in the moment, that's when that brilliance happens. It's not when you're thinking about the future or the past. It's when you're really locked into that moment. You're obsessed. Yeah,
exactly. And that's why I say, look, be obsessed or be average. And what is average? Average is everything else, man.
Yeah.
Average is 99.9% of planet Earth.
Absolutely. Okay, so one last thing. So there's a lot of people that they're doing this personal branding thing. They're trying to build up their personal brands. You've been very successful with that. Do you have any tips for others that want to build their personal brand?
Got to be everywhere, man.
Yeah.
You got to be omnipresent. Like
Yeah.
you can't, you need to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Like people that are, I get asked all the time, hey, what's your favorite social medium? I said, look, if you're asking that question, you don't understand social media.
All of them.
I don't have a favorite.
Yeah.
Okay. My favorite situation would be that wherever you go, you see my face.
Yeah.
So I don't care if you like me or love me or hate me. It doesn't really matter to me. What I do care about is that you know me.
Absolutely.
And that you'd have some opinion about me. And in the beginning, it's going to be like, I don't know him. I don't like what he said. Or it's going to be like, I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Look, I know people that have never seen me before. They think they've seen me. They're like, I think I've heard of you. I'll go into a country and I'll be like, do you know who I am? Yeah, man, I think I do. I think I know who you are. You ever heard of me? I think I have. Now, why is that happening? I think there's this monkey. Is it the 100th monkey? You know the concept about the 100th monkey?
No.
Well, it was this whole science experiment, right, on an island where there was 100 monkeys, and the 100 monkeys were taught something, and then boom, the experiment ended, and the next thing you know, they start seeing that activity in other places, suggesting that I don't know if this is true or not, dude. Okay, suggesting that a behavior is somehow communicated. It moves or vibrates around a planet and starts to move to other people. So the fact that you know me, I mean, there was a time when you didn't know who I was. I didn't know who you were, dude.
Right.
Okay, shame on you, dude. Shame on you if I don't know you. Right, and shame on me if you don't know me. So that's what I would tell you, man. Look, if you want to you got to be everywhere.
Yeah.
And for you to be everywhere, here's the problem with being everywhere. You got to be obsessed.
Yeah.
Okay? Like if you watch my Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Snapchat, what else? What else do I do in a day?
Instagram?
LinkedIn, Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube. I did YouTube. Grant Cardone TV, this interview, podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, book interviews, Audible. Dude, I don't even know where people get my data from. There's so many people pirating my stuff, knocking off my stuff, Dude, it don't matter to me. Just know me, okay? So it might be because I did a TV interview today with Neil Cavuto, or I'm on MSNBC, or this Sunday I was doing a thing for MSNBC on small businesses. So like you got to be obsessed, and you need your family on board with what you're doing.
Totally.
You know, I have a sister. One of my sisters like, you're awesome. Another one of my sisters is like, I didn't know you were an expert at everything. Now, what's she saying, dude? Like, oh, now you're an expert on that and that and that and that. I said, baby, look, if they say I'm an expert, if the media says it, then it's true.
Yeah.
That's all I know. Okay. So the point of that was you could have people around you that actually could not even knowingly resent what you're doing.
I see. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like this weekend, we had a hurricane that was threatening Miami, as you know.
Yeah.
And this morning I come in, obviously everybody's all right. Nobody got hit. We did this hurricane sale on Friday when the hurricane was coming.
Yeah.
And I posted on YouTube and then threw it up on Twitter and Facebook. And I'm like, oh my God, our office is getting destroyed. Everything must go. I had the biggest single weekend I have ever had in 30 years of business.
That's incredible.
For this hurricane sale. I sold stuff. I can't even deliver the orders. Okay.
Wow.
I'm talking 5,000% increases. Okay.
Wow.
Now, this morning I walk in and I see some guy sends me, hey, Uncle G, look what they're saying about you on Facebook. Some guy posts an article saying, I am the example of what not to do to promote your business. So, and again, the point of that story is, look, you got to be everywhere, and you're going to get criticizers and haters and naysayers because of it. There's 2 chapters in the book, Be Obsessed, Be Average, how to handle haters, but more importantly, how to handle naysayers. Because naysayers are more poisonous and stop more people than haters do.
That's interesting. I haven't heard that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So where can people get the book? When is it out? Is it out?
It drops tomorrow. Amazon, Barnes, Books A Million, Target, dude, everywhere, man. Everywhere you get books. We're number 2 and number 4 right now on Amazon for entrepreneurial new releases, and it's not out yet. I think it's Damon John, me, and Ryan Blair from Visalis.
Yeah. Awesome.
And both their books are out. This isn't out, so it'll drop tomorrow. It should be a big, huge release. Totally. And I appreciate everybody's support on it. Also, by the way, anybody that pre-orders, if you order today or tomorrow, when are you going to drop this?
Today or tomorrow.
Okay, good. So when you drop this, if you send me a receipt to obsessed@grantcardone.com, I'm giving away 13 coaching sessions. One coaching session for every chapter of the book.
That's great.
That's free. Nice. So I think Amazon is $17. I'm going to give you 13 coaching sessions with me, not somebody else, not one of my staff, with me. And if you write a review of the book, good or bad, doesn't matter to me, and send me that to obsessed@grantcardone.com, I'll give you a full credit for whatever you spent at my store against any digital product.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay. So, yep, that's the book, Be Obsessed or Be Average. Grant Cardone, thanks so much for doing this.
Hey, Brian, thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate your audience.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
He's awesome, dude.